In this video, you will discover a proven method designed for people with type 1 diabetes to lose 15 pounds or more in 12 weeks flat. If you're struggling to lose belly fat while keeping your blood sugars between 70 and 150, this step-by-step program will reveal the 5 deadly mistakes you are making and exactly what you need to do right now to change course. Welcome to the 12-week program, Type 1 to Type Awesome. First and foremost, thank you. I trust that you got tremendous value out of the free report that you just read, and that is only the tip of the iceberg. There is so much more for you to discover on your quest to successfully losing weight and managing your type 1 diabetes. I want to share with you why and how I came to find the perfect formula that allows me to predictably and consistently have blood sugars ranging between 70 and 130, feeling and looking great, and maintaining a body that I love and proud of and confident in. It hasn't always been easy for me to look great and feel great, or to manage my type 1 diabetes. To be honest, I dishonored my body for many, many years because I hated that I had type 1 diabetes. Look at these two pictures. They weren't taken that far apart. To me, I see a huge change. The one on the left, I look a little puffy. I look a little inflamed. And to be honest, I don't think I have as much vibrancy as I do in the picture of the right. And I can 100% attribute this change to creating and adhering to the program Type 1 to Type Awesome. I'm so excited to talk to you about this program. It has changed my life, and I know it can change yours too. But first, I want to share a little of my story with you. Once you hear my story, you will be 100% confident that when you integrate the powerful strategies that I currently use on a daily basis, you too can successfully shed 15 pounds or more, get your blood sugars under control, and have an A1c of 7 or less. I was diagnosed when I was 12 years old, and I was so angry that my body had failed and that my pancreas was broken. I was mad at the world for giving me a lifelong disease. The doctors drilled into my head over and over that I'd battle weight gain my entire life because of manual insulin injections, and that without incredible control I'd suffer long-term complications, feel terrible, and die sooner than the average person. How's that for encouragement? And although the doctors scared me with their talks of long-term complications, the consequence I was particularly concerned with was weight gain. Hey, give me a break. I was 12 years old at the time, and body image and how I looked was at the forefront of my mind. I didn't want to gain weight, and like so many girls who are diagnosed with type 1 diabetes at a young age, I developed an eating disorder. I used dangerous strategies to maintain a lean body, like skipping meals and shots, working out like a fanatic even when my blood sugars were elevated, and I even resorted to binging and purging multiple times a week without my family or friends knowing. Sadly, these behaviors allowed me to keep my thin and lean frame, but wreaked havoc on my blood sugars, emotions, how I felt on a daily basis, and of course my overall health. I continued to mistreat my body for nearly 15 years, and in college it only got worse. I was horrified and determined not to be a statistic and gain the freshman 15 pounds. And even though the knowledge of future complications scared me a little bit, they didn't scare me enough to stop me from engaging in these destructive and detrimental behaviors. I got my first wake-up call after college when I tried to enlist in the Peace Corps. I needed to get my A1c tested, and I remember thinking, oh my God, my lies are going to be exposed. I had been telling people forever that my blood sugars were under control, and I knew my A1c would show that they weren't. Maggie, a great girlfriend at the time who was in med school and working at a doctor's office, called me one day and asked me point blank, Jessica, are you trying to kill yourself? She informed me that my A1c was nearly 14.5. I felt like she handed me a death sentence. Immediate changes were necessary, or I was headed for deteriorating health, feeling and looking worse and worse, huge medical bills, and of course a decreased quality of life. I was inspired and motivated by the conversation she and I had, so I did change and I stayed on track for a little bit, but inevitably I fell back to old patterns and behaviors because I couldn't find a system that allowed me to keep my thin frame while still maintaining good, healthy blood sugars and A1cs. When I researched online for solutions, I came up empty-handed. Every site seemed to only address type 2 diabetes because it is such a national epidemic. And as you and I both know, type 1 and type 2 are very different diseases and need different ways to treat them. As my frustrations mounted, I began to think more and more that I was going to have to make a decision between being thin and being healthy. This wasn't a crossroads that I wanted to come to or a decision that I wanted to make. I met Jason, and although I'm not proud to admit it, when I met him, my entire motivation to live and be healthy changed. I wanted to be around long term. I wanted to build a life and a family with Jason. I wanted to be happy and healthy, and I knew that if I didn't take serious action and make some pretty big changes in my life, that's not how my life would unfold. Eventually, of course, I wanted to accomplish the healthy blood sugars, the fantastic A1Cs, and the body that I loved for me, because I finally realized I wasn't a diseased human being, but a deserving one who needed to get her life and health under control. Sadly, nobody I spoke to had any answers. No internet research seemed to provide viable solutions. So I decided to do the only thing that made sense. I decided to make my body a testing ground. And that's exactly what I did. And now you get to benefit from all the trials and errors, the experiments, the frustrations and the struggles, and everything else that I've experienced as I've discovered the perfect formula to achieve the blood sugars and the body that I want. Why on earth would you try to develop a predictable and consistent strategy on your own, when the strategy that I've developed can save you time, money, pain, and frustrations? It is an awesome and perfect system, and remember, it was created for people with type 1 diabetes by someone who's lived with it since she was 12 years old. The application of a few simple principles will allow you to drop 15 or more pounds, have blood sugars between 80 and 150 consistently, an A1c of 7 or less. You'll feel great and look great, and most importantly, you'll live a life free of complications. The reason that I can state this with such certainty is because I adhere to these principles every single day, and after just doing it for 12 weeks, my life changed, and now I've done it for over a year, and through more trial and error, I have tweaked and refined the formula further, so now it is a magic and perfect formula. And I think that it's time that I shared it with you and others who have type 1 diabetes, so that all of us can finally get the control, the blood sugars, and the weight that we want. And while I can't promise that this journey will always be fun and easy and without frustrations, I can tell you that with a little bit of discipline and the implementation of the insanely powerful strategies I'm going to share with you when you buy the program, that you too can experience a total body health and life transformation. So at this point, you're probably saying, hey, what do I get with this 12-week Type 1 to Type Awesome program? You get a 12-week snack by snack and meal by meal plan. We remove all the guesswork so that you can absolutely be successful. And of course, I collaborated with a nutritionist, a semi-pro bodybuilder, and a personal trainer on these meal plans. After you purchase the program, you answer a few simple questions so I know exactly what meal and calorie plan to send to you. In my opinion, there are too many options, and with too many options, we become overwhelmed and sometimes are confused, and so we make bad choices. So I figured if I tell you exactly what to eat on a daily basis, your success can soar. You are given over 10 incredible workouts and lengthy description of every single workout modality that I use, so you know exactly why you do it and how your body benefits. You're given a workout tracker, so that way you can see the progress that your body is making week after week. And of course, you get access to videos of every single exercise that is required during the 12 weeks, so that you make sure you do everything correctly. You get a blood sugar, weight, and insulin tracker so that you can start to see patterns and potential pitfalls that may cause you to slow down or even prevent the inevitable success that'll happen if you adhere to Type 1 to Type Awesome. You get a contract because it is my belief that when you put your name on something, it becomes your word, and the chance of you getting through the program successfully and sticking to it goes up exponentially. Look, if you continue to live the same way you are living now, you will see a decline in your health. You'll feel worse and worse. You might get complications and you'll experience constant weight gain. You will suffer needlessly from emotional ups and downs, fluctuations in vision, feelings of lethargy and exhaustion, loss of feeling in your extremities, dry mouth, and a decreased desire to live. Type 1 diabetes is a very dangerous disease if it's not taken seriously. There's a reason that insurance companies won't insure you if you're not part of a large organization or a company that offers insurance. It's because there are over 100 potential complications associated with the type 1 diabetes, so insurance companies know that most likely they would lose money if they insured you independently. The government is not going to take care of you. Who knows when the cure will be found and shared with the world? The only guarantee you can rely on is taking 100% responsibility for your life and investing in Type 1 to Type Awesome. This program will give you every tool you need to successfully shed nasty unwanted pounds while getting the blood sugars you need to live a life free of complications, all the while feeling great and securing a future of health and vitality. Click the button that just appeared below to gain instant access to Type 1 to Type Awesome and get ready for an incredible journey that will leave you feeling healthy, fit, confident, and ready to live a healthy life with Type 1 diabetes. You are probably wondering how much this life-altering program is going to cost you, and here's the good news. Unlike most individuals selling programs, it's not really my style to tell you that the program should cost hundreds of dollars, but if you act immediately, it can be yours for a mere fraction of that. This technique is designed to create a sense of urgency in you so that you feel instantly compelled to purchase the program. And in my opinion, I don't need to create a false sense of urgency here. There is nothing more urgent and important than getting your Type 1 diabetes under control, reaching your goal weight, and doing this while feeling great and minimizing the risk of future complications that would inevitably destroy your enjoyment of life. Act now by clicking on the button below. The choice is yours, and remember, there is always a cost of doing nothing. And unfortunately for those of us with Type 1 diabetes, the cost can be very, very high. Irreparable damage to our cells, worsening eyesight, numbness in our limbs, heart, kidney failure, and dozens of other painful and unnecessary debilitating complications. Not only do we suffer emotional and quality of life consequences, the financial costs are enormous. Doctor bills, amputations, eye surgery, kidney and heart medications will be astronomical and most likely devastating for your family. Feeling terrible, not being able to enjoy activities with your friends and your family and your children, and dying slowly from unnecessary complications can all be avoided when you act now. This program is 100% a lifesaver. Trust me, I know from personal experience. Click the button now. Your life, health, and happiness depend on it. For just $39.99, you can stop the useless frustrations of swinging blood sugars, erratic moods, weight gain, feeling terrible, being lethargic, and going through life as a victim of a disease. Most people will spend more money on their cable TV this month than it would cost to purchase the Type 1 to Type Awesome program. TV over a life free of complications, healthy blood sugars, and a body you love? That's ridiculous and total nonsense. The program is worth every penny of the investment because it will give you back control and allow you to live a life without constant fear and anxiety about having Type 1 diabetes. I've experienced it myself. And of course, a percent of each transaction goes to a diabetes research company because I want a cure. But until there is a cure that is shared with the world so that all of us with Type 1 diabetes can again have healthy and functioning pancreases, it is up to you to do everything in your power to live a full, healthy, and joyous life. Type 1 to Type Awesome was my solution, and I know that it can be yours too. I am so confident in this program and what it'll do for you that if at the end of 12 weeks you are not wildly ecstatic about the results that you have, just let me know and I'll refund your money 100%, no questions asked. Go ahead, it's time to get your life back. I can't wait to hear about your success with Type 1 to Type Awesome. Click the button now and begin a life-altering journey that you are going to love and never regret taking.